What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday with your host Jake Waxman, along with Tyler Lavalette of Two Guys Talk Sports. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Well, bummer. The Cubs will not win the World Series this year, nor will they even get to go to the World Series. They were knocked out by the Milwaukee Brewers after an excellent 5-game series. Really exciting 5-game series. But you know what? As a Cubs fan, I can't be too upset. They gave it everything they had. Unfortunately, granted, they couldn't muster up more than one run in the most pivotal game of the series, which was Game 5. But, it happens. Sometimes your bats go quiet at the worst possible time. But you know what? When I look back at this Cubs team, there's nothing to be disappointed about. The Cubs, I was just hoping that they would make the playoffs last season. And last season, before the start of last season, I didn't think they would make the playoffs. I really did not. But in fact, my friend Tyler, he had way more faith in the Cubs than I did. That if you watch the video of where we met on Friday Roundtable, where we made our MLB season predictions early on this year, he predicted the Cubs to be in the playoffs. I kind of was hesitant about. I was actually very hesitant, but you know what? The Cubs, they not only made the playoffs, they won a playoff series and took Milwaukee to the brink. Went toe-to-toe with the Milwaukee Brewers. Just didn't have enough firepower, not enough depth to dethrone the Brewers to dethrone the champions of the NL Central, to say the least. But if you're a Cubs fan, a lot to be proud of and a lot to be hopeful for. This Cubs team, like I said, had a good enough regular season to make the playoffs and showed a lot of that firepower. And you had guys like Ian Happ and Pete Crow Armstrong who balled out all season long, as well as Kyle Tucker. Guys like that really made a difference in the Cubs lineup. And Craig Counsell actually did a phenomenal job getting this team back to the playoffs. So really, when I think about what expectations I had as a Cubs fan, I was just hoping they'd be in a position to have a chance to make the playoffs. They made it as the first wild card. This Cubs team exceeded my expectations, and I'm pleased about that. And honestly, to even, go toe-to-toe with a great Milwaukee team, nothing to be disappointed about. All right, this Cubs team, things are looking up. Next season, we'll see how things go. But lot to think about for the offseason. Can they keep Kyle Tucker this offseason, or will he sign elsewhere? That's going to be one of the big pieces for the Cubs. Does he re-sign with the Cubs, or does he go elsewhere? And if he leaves, then the Cubs are going to have to replace that firepower, which could hurt their chances of making a deeper run in next year's postseason. Of course, the expectation is going to be deeper run next postseason. We'll see how that goes, but really, overall, watching the Cubs this season was a lot of fun. This was a really fun Cubs team to watch. Even when things did not go well. Like, they had great personalities on that team. A lot of great plays. A lot of great memories for this Cubs team. And the big reason why the Cubs made the playoffs, all that firepower on offense. It's a big reason why they got there. And their defense, of course, really good defense, especially the outfielders. Just didn't have enough depth in the bullpen to really go the distance in this postseason. So, going into next year, I think the Cubs, they need to worry about, bullpen depth. Get some new pitchers. And, keep upgrading and just, take what you've learned from this season and keep building. All right? Keep on going. The Cubs, they're looking good. Future's looking bright for this Cubs organization. They just got to keep going. Just got to keep working on building a contender. Not only just to reach the World Series, but to win it. And if the Cubs can if they can keep building, they can win the World Series. Will they do it next year? We'll see, of course. But overall, as a Cubs fan, really pleased with how the season turned out. The Cubs exceeded my expectations. They made the playoffs, won a playoff series, an exciting series with the Padres. And like I said, they took Milwaukee to the brink and just came up short. But to the Cubs, I say cheers to a great season, and I will see you in 2026. Looking forward to watching Cubs baseball in 2026. But for now, my focus now shifts to sports like football and hockey, but good job, Cubs. Good job. And in a scenario where we're in kind of a dark sports age for Chicago, of course, the Cubs have been the brightest spot thus far for Chicago sports. But hopefully their playoff run maybe sparks a little more momentum for one such other organization, maybe two that I'm about to talk about. Of course, I'm only going to talk about one of them in this Waxon Wednesday. We'll get right to that in a bit. All right, shifting gears. Now we're moving on to football. Okay. Sports fans, we have to talk about Baker Mayfield. No, seriously. We need to be talking about Baker frickin' Mayfield. This guy is looking really elite right now. The Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are 5-1 right now. That Tampa Bay team is good. But the big reason why they are 5-1, because Baker Mayfield is balling out. Let me give you the stats on Baker Mayfield this season. And credit to ESPN for this. So here's his regular season stats. He's thrown for 1,539 yards. He's fourth in the NFL in yards. He has 12 touchdown passes on the 12 touchdowns on the season, tied for third. Has just one interception, one turnover, and tied for 26th there. QBR of 71.1, which doesn't seem all that exciting, but he's 8th in the NFL. He's top 10 there. And how about this? The big stat right here. He's completed 66% of his passes this season. My goodness. Sports fans, we need to be giving respect to Baker Mayfield. This quarterback is for real. Not only is he, Baker Mayfield is more than just a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. In fact, in my opinion, he's on his way to being a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. This dude is balling out. This dude is making the most on what I like to call his second lease on life. At least on the NFL stage. He's been given a second lease on life, and he's more than making the most out of it. He's running away with it. He's a whole new quarterback. And this season, he is looking the best he's ever looked. In fact, I think he might be an MVP candidate. Like, we need to be talking about Baker Mayfield as the MVP. I will say that, and you know what? Keep in mind this. The Bucs, for a 5-1 team, when you look at kind of the team as a whole, it might not look like a 5-1 team on paper, okay? Not the most talented football team. You can make the case for that. Okay, they got guys like Mike Evans. But you know what? The Bucs are 5-1. And you know what? Baker Mayfield is a big reason why. This guy. And the Bucs have been in a lot of close games this season. And you know what? Their record could be 3-2 or even 2-3. But you know what? They're 5-1 because Baker Mayfield, he's gone down the field. He's made plays, thrown the football. He's helped the Bucs win a lot of close games this season. We do not give Baker Mayfield enough respect in the NFL. He deserves more respect. And you know what? I got to give him more respect too. I'm guilty of this too. You know what? I've doubted Baker Mayfield in the past. And especially, you know what? He's maybe eat humble pie. Because I didn't think the Bucs would be as good as they are. And at first when I was making my predictions for the NFL season, I thought the Bucs, I thought about it between like the Falcons and the Bucs. But clearly right now the Bucs look like they're going to run away with this division as long as they keep things up. And like I said, Baker Mayfield's the big reason why. I always thought Baker's a good quarterback. Good quarterback. But can he really be elite? You know what? He's making me eat my own, not just my words, but my thoughts. He's making me eat my own thoughts here. Because right now, he's elite. This guy is playing like an elite quarterback. And he's been one of the best quarterbacks this season. You look at the stats. And you know what? The stats don't even tell the whole story. The thing about Baker Mayfield is you can piss him off. And he'll just go lead his team on a game-winning touchdown drive. You try to get under his skin. You try to make him angry. You only unlock more determination out of Baker. I mean, this dude... And here's the thing. Okay, say what you want about Baker Mayfield. You could say he's cocky. You could say he's a little arrogant and that stuff. But you know what? I say this. Baker Mayfield is the biggest and probably arguably the best underdog in the NFL right now. That's right. An arrogant underdog. Okay? And you know what? His arrogance is not a bad thing. He backs it up. He's been backing it up. And honestly, I don't see how you hate this guy. Baker Mayfield has become actually okay, so maybe you disliked him in college, but in the NFL, Baker is actually a really likable football player. He's a really likable guy. And I am rooting for this guy. I want to see him just go out there and sling it. I'd love to see. You know what? I would not mind seeing Tampa Bay win a third Super Bowl, especially if it's Baker Mayfield leading the charge. Because Baker has been through a lot of crap in his time in the NFL. I mean, and you know what? Here's the thing. You know, if you guys feel a bit dumb, if you feel dumb about, doubting Baker Mayfield, hey, I'm here to cheer you up about this. Just remember one thing to you doubters. You could be the Cleveland Browns. You know what? Nobody is pretty much questioning their decision making in terms of setting up a football team more so than the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield continues to make the Browns look stupid out there. Yep, I said stupid. They decided to trade him away, and they thought Deshaun Watson was the answer. Oh, that is a trade that's blown. That is getting Deshaun Watson and trading away Baker Mayfield has blown up in the Browns' face, because you see what Baker's doing right now. He's thriving in Tampa. He's balling out. He's enjoying the warm Florida sunshine. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in Florida? I mean, it's all worked out really well for Baker. And, this second lease in life, as I like to call it, at least on a football perspective. He's in a much better situation with an organization that wins consistently and has a good culture. And you know what? He gets to live in Florida. He gets to live in Tampa, Florida. He gets to live in the Florida sunshine. Lucky guy. But you know what? He's earned it. And you know what? He's made that starting job in Tampa his own. Like that Tampa team has rallied around Baker Mayfield. The Bucs will go as far this season as Baker Mayfield will take them. And right now, he is dangerous. He's balling out. I only want to see this guy continue to succeed and prove doubters wrong. I want him to prove me more wrong, because he's proven me wrong many times. And I'm happy for the guy. I love seeing he is the NFL's best underdog right now. No question about it. Underrated. Deserves a lot more respect than what he gets. And you know what? Tampa, I bet you, is happy to have him, because because this Tampa Bay team, after Tom Brady retired, I thought this Tampa Bay team was going to start, declining and then go into rebuild mode. They're not rebuilding just yet, because Baker Mayfield has found a new gear in that second lease of life, and he's going out there and proving a lot of doubters wrong. I mean, and keep in mind, this is a quarterback that after he was traded to Cleveland, he went to Carolina, only started a few games there, then went to the Los Angeles Rams, played a few games there, he went to Tampa, he found a home in Tampa, found a new lease of life in football, and so he has more. He's more than just found a new lease in life. And I'm talking about that from football perspective. He's done more than just that. He's made the Buccaneers his own football team. It's Baker's world, and we just live in it. But you know what? I'm so happy for Baker Mayfield. After all the crap that he's gone through, especially, having to play injured in Cleveland, and then they traded him away. And to see him balling out, and then watching, Cleveland go back to being just a, to being a joke of a franchise right now, it's, wow. That's the thing. You know what? We all make mistakes. But you know what? I just wanted Cleveland. What were you thinking, though? I knew when they signed Deshaun Watson, that was not going to work out for the Browns. I knew that wasn't going to work out. I was just like, this is not going to work out for the Browns. They should have put more trust in Baker Mayfield. Well, you know what? The Buccaneers have placed their trust in Baker, and he's rewarding them. He's balling out. And right now, Baker Mayfield, this season, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's on his way to becoming, in my opinion, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Because this guy, like I said, this guy has found something. He's found something in Tampa that he didn't have in Cleveland. And, okay, all right, you can say what you want. It's the Browns. They messed up everything. But you know what? You could also say all he had to do was get the stench of Cleveland away. All he had to do was get away from the stench of the Cleveland Browns, and boom, he's in better shape. I think it's more than just that, though. I think Baker Mayfield has truly found something in Tampa. And not just a home, and not just a new lease on life, at least on a football perspective, but he's found a new purpose. And he has found a new drive, new gear. He's found a new version of himself. And he's gone from being a good quarterback to one of the NFL's best quarterbacks right now. And you know what? I hope he plays for many, many seasons. I hope he stays on top in this league for many, many seasons, because this guy's one of the most, right now, okay, college, you could say what you want. He was arrogant in college, but here in the NFL, he's become one of the most likable guys in the NFL. And you know what? He's balling out too. And you know what? His arrogance in the NFL, it's perfect. Honestly, he has every right to be arrogant, because we've all doubted him. And, many have doubted him, but yet he keeps proving doubters wrong. And he just goes out there, and you know what? He wins, baby. Baker Mayfield wins football games, baby. So you know what? In terms for Tampa, they're enjoying it. It's Baker's world, and we live in it, at least in Tampa. And you know what? I'm happy for the guy. He deserves to have his chance to shine in the NFL after what he's gone through. And he's thriving in Tampa. Thriving under that Florida sunshine. And you know what? In this season, Baker Mayfield is showing he's elite. And I am so stoked for the dude. You watch him play. He goes down the field. He takes his football team, puts them on his back, and he goes and makes winning plays. This guy, he's right now, I'm going to close it off by saying this. Baker Mayfield is elite, and he's on his way to being arguably a top 5. If he hasn't already there already, he's on his way to becoming a top 5 NFL quarterback. That's where I'll leave this subject. Baker Mayfield, if you're out there, man, I'm rooting for you. Keep up the good work, man. Keep on shining in Tampa. We love our underdogs in the NFL. Keep on balling, my man. Keep on balling. And now on to... that was a long subject. Now on to my third and final subject, which is the Bears. You know what? If you would have told me after starting 0-2, the Bears would be 3-2, I would have probably laughed, and I would have just been like, yeah, no. But here we are. The Bears are 3-2. And you know what? I am starting to sense that the culture might finally be changing. And you know what? That is all because of one guy, Ben Johnson. First of all, to the Detroit Lions, I say thank you for giving us Ben Johnson, because he's working wonders right now for this Bears organization, and it's showing. Back-to-back games where the Bears won 25-24. And 2 games in a row they could have lost, but they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Under Ben Johnson, this Bears team has new fight. There is a new fight in this Bears team. In fact, it's all fight and no quit. This team doesn't quit. Caleb Williams, I'm going to admit this. I got a feeling I was wrong about Caleb. Granted, he still has things to work on, but Ben Johnson is helping him a lot. And Caleb Williams is starting to get more and more comfortable playing in Ben Johnson's offense. It's not always perfect, but you know what? If anyone could do it, Caleb can do it. And I like what I've seen from Caleb the last few weeks. Granted, this last victory they had on Monday Night Football. That came against a solid Commanders team. And the Commanders, they could have easily won this game. It felt like both teams were trying to hand each other the game. And in the end, you could make the case the Commanders handed the Bears the win. But the Bears made the plays when it mattered. Those turnovers. You got defense. 3 turnovers in that game. And they needed a 3-turnover game. They got one. And they ended up getting the game-winning turnover, which led to Jake Moody. By the way, so happy for Jake Moody. Who, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this about Jake Moody. He's from Commerce, Michigan. That's something I just learned after the Monday Night Football game. Jake Moody, originally from Commerce, Michigan. He went to the University of Michigan. And after a kind of a rough go with the 49ers, he's come to the Bears. He came in relief for Cario Santos. And what's he do? He kicks four fantastic field goals, including the game winner that lifted the Bears over the Commanders. So right now, the vibes are changing. I feel like the vibes are finally changing. I hope it continues, though. Got to keep making these changes. Ben Johnson doing a great job. Caleb Williams starting to get comfortable. And you got guys on defense and offense making some plays. And by the way, got to shout out to Rome Odunze. Odunze continues to break out for the Bears. And it's helping a lot. He should have had a touchdown in this game against a Commander. He caught a touchdown, and that's a touchdown that should have counted, but it got called back due to a controversial illegal formation penalty. And I looked at the replay, and I'm like, where's the illegal what exactly here is illegal about this for me? It was a bad call by the officials. I think whoever the refs were in that game had no idea what exactly an illegal formation was. Need more training there. And you know what? Okay, now I'm about to, alright, usually I try not to call out people, but you know what? There's some people, so I just called out the refs, but there's two more. Two more I need to call out. Troy Aikman, this one's for you. I know you were doubting the Bears. Don't lie, Troy. Don't you lie. If you ever see this video, Troy, don't you lie. You called out the Bears. You said some stuff. You were acting like a Debbie Downer on Monday Night Football. You were saying nothing but negative things about the Bears. I saw that. Everyone else who was watching Monday Night Football saw it too. Even all Bears fans. You just had nothing but negative things to say. Goodness me, Troy. Just nothing. No constructive criticism at all. Just negative things to say. Come on. Troy Aikman, you're better than that. Come on. And also, I'm going to call out ESPN. Because you know what? ESPN always dissing the Bears. Always saying negative things. Not everyone at ESPN, but there's plenty there. They're saying negative things about the Bears. And then I remember there was a graphic that talked about the Bears' miscues. And both teams, Commanders and Bears, they both had miscues. The Bears had plenty of miscues and somehow won this game. And then they pointed out this one, they pointed out the touchdown that was called back due to the penalty for illegal formation. ESPN, come on, you know better. There's an asterisk next to that because everybody who was watching that game, especially with a sense of mind, knew what the heck was illegal about that form. There was that formation looked nowhere even close to being illegal. What? ESPN, you knew that there's an asterisk next to that, but you still post that on a graphic like miscues anyways. So you know what? To Troy Aikman and to ESPN, you can do better than that. You can do so much better than that. But to conclude this subject, the Bears, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I still don't think they're going to because they got a difficult schedule and there's still a lot to work on. It's not necessarily like a great football team, but this Bears team, they're improving. They're getting better. And that's what the season's going to be about. Not necessarily wins and losses, but improving the team. And right now, this Bears team, they are Ben Johnson is building something nice in Chicago. He's building something very, very, very special in Chicago. I just have a gut feel. My gut feeling tells me Ben Johnson is building. And he's building something very, very special in Chicago right now. We'll see if, hopefully, this momentum continues. If Ben Johnson only helps this Bears team continue to climb the ladder. Because, right now, Ben Johnson, he's working overtime. He's overdriving it to build a Super Bowl contender in the Bears. It's going to take time. But right now, Ben Johnson's hard work, it's evident right now when you see the way this Bears team is playing. All right, on to this day in sports history. And on this day, how about this? This is a weird one. On this day, the 15th of October, 2001, the 0-4 Dallas Cowboys and the 0-4 Washington Redskins, now the Washington Commanders, played on Monday Night Football. It was the only time in the 31-year history of Monday Night Football that two 0-4 teams played. Cowboys will win the game 9-7. Low scoring. So, sports fans, before I sign off for the evening, okay, just a big heads up. Tyler Lavalette told me that he's got a wedding reception to go to on Friday, so he won't be available. So with that, there will be no Friday roundtable. I apologize for the inconvenience, but me and Tyler will not be in the studio this Friday. We should be back the following Friday, though. But wanted to give you a heads up, no Friday roundtable this week. And with that being said, for now, I will say goodbye. Me and Tyler, we greatly appreciate the support you guys, you sports fans give us. We thank you for everything. And hey, don't forget to follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things here on YouTube and Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook. And feel free to say anything you'd like to say below and like and subscribe if you want to. And with that being said, that's all I got for this week's Waxon Wednesday. Sports fans, this is Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, wishing you all a good week.